Cup Series. Into the lead. Bond gets wrecked in front of the pack. He saves it. 3-4 wide as they come to the white flag. Here comes Vargas down on the apron. They are 5 wide. Ian Plash will win it at the line. Is this package? Oh, there goes Jordy Lopez Jr. That's your race leader. Caution flag is out. Still no one willing to give up as they are going to be dead even off of the first chicane. Oh, he saves it. What's going to happen here? Here comes the canvas. Get your foot there. He's got it. He's got it. Get there. No. Canvas is going to win.
For the first time since 2021, the Barr Visuals FTF Grand National Series is on a broadcast on twitch.tv/ftf.gg. You know, who would have thought? Sean Butler, Kevin McAdams, and Zach Johnson here with you. So, Kevin, been a long time since this series has been on, and what better way to come back than at least home track for us. But this track always provides the best carnage possible, New Smyrna Speedway.
Yeah, we were even talking about that, you know, Xfinity in real life should come here just because it has that short track, you know, grassroots racing that fans love to see. And I think we'll see the same thing tonight. You know, 36 guys on basically a half-mile oval, very narrow on the entrance and on the exit of the corners. I think it'll be a lot of action, a lot of contact, but hopefully a good race.
We're setting the over-under on caution, starting it at 10. So put your bets in the chat now. Pretty easy to figure out what the correct answer to that will be. But let's take a look at the starting lineup here for the prelude to the beach here at New Smyrna. Nathan Rabideau is your pole sitter. A surprise, been very good in FTF for a long time. Steven Gibson will be on the outside. Tom Wetmore making up the inside of row 2 alongside Cole Freilich. David Schildhaus back in FTF competition. Good to see him back. Will roll off P5. Joe Armstrong in P6. Spencer Ray, John Hagan will make up row number 4. And Kevin, Nick Miller, Mo Perry will round out the top 10.
Row 6, a new face to FTF. Jaden Hopp in the 481. David Cabrera, you'll see him on FTF Cup nights as well. Most of the year, he'll roll off 12th. William Schmidt, 13th. Matt Spalding, our favorite basketball, in 14th. Alexander Van Desant in the 15th spot. Outside of row 8, Isaac Johnson. Gabe Wood.
Wow.
Coors Gabe Wood in 17th. Andrew Schwartz making his FTF comeback in the 18th position. Scott Ricard and Malachi Drake will roll off 19th and 20th.
And Nick Dwornik, Ryan Billy will make up row 11. Paul Mikolajczyk, Bobby Blazer, our favorite name here in row 12. Rocky Hartpence, Ethan Corder, row 13. And final row, Cody Ware and Jeremy Bro will round out the field for this one. So down the back straightaway, we're getting ready to go, jumping right into the action here on FTF. The virtual iRacing safety car will pull off next time by, and this field will be unleashed here at the New Smyrna Speedway. So what really quick, Kevin, what is the key to surviving here? I mean, it's got to be mostly luck, some skill, but there's no way you can predict what's going to happen.
Well, I think track position, just like any other short track, is the most important. 100 laps, it's a very short race, so there's going to be a lot of sense of urgency. Single file restarts for cautions, after caution, so that should kind of calm things down, but it'll also spread out the field pretty considerably. As we're about to go green, I think that'll be a huge factor if we have a lot of cautions tonight.
Oh, and by the way, $20 to the winner of this thing. Green flag is out. Nathan Rabideau is on it. And he's got Steven Gibson all over the rear bumpers. They head into turn number 1 along the outside. Look at Gibson trying to get to the outside. Not quite going to do it as Rabideau's going to have the inside. What a dive by Cole Freilich to the inside of Tom Wetmore for third.
And Sean, we know that second lane does have some speed here at New Smyrna. So we'll see a lot of battles and it'll be really hard to pass, honestly, for most of the night. Still side by side, and it's going to get real tight off of turn 2. That will be, I think, Calamity Corner. Joe Armstrong nearly getting pinched into the wall by Freilich. But right now, side-by-side battle still looks like a 100-mile-an-hour pace lap right now in the front.
Nathan Rabideau clears. Everyone looking to go side by side pretty much for the whole field. Front 5 have single-filed out. David Schildhaus and Joe Armstrong are going at it. That's for the 5th position. as they make their way through turn number 4. And history has shown here in New Smyrna, Kevin, that high side is there's contact. We have a wreck in the back.
Tristan Hagenstein, oh no.
Tristan Hagenstein sideways alongside with Ryan Pandicio in turns 3 and 4. We'll bring our first caution out. And Zach Johnson's going to be a busy guy here tonight, just getting replays. Let's take a look at our first crash of the new FTF season, literally wrecking for last back there.
And this is all the way back in 33rd. A lot of provisionals, by the way. Everything that we didn't see on the starting grid were provisionals. There are 36 cars that took the start tonight, and all these guys in the back either made it through the B main, the consolation race, if you will, or our provisionals. And a little bit of a stack up because of the contact, and Josh Stoltz just had nowhere to go once Tristan slowed up for that incident down the backstretch. But that's unfortunately what we'll see a lot of tonight, Sean. I think up front, a lot of these guys will be just looking to log laps, and I think eventually they want a long run so they can spread out, maybe make some passes. But in the back, it's going to be a lot of mistakes, a lot of miscues, and a lot of we saw even in the Conci race that we didn't broadcast, a lot of self spins in the back half of the field. So rough start in the back, but I think these guys will be able to keep it together for the most part up front. We'll just have to find out.
If you are looking for long runs in this race, I've got some bad news for you. We will not have any. I'm making a bold prediction with this one. As working caution at number 1 here at the New Smyrna Speedway, we are going to be coming to the green in about 2 or 3 laps time. Cautions are, I don't want to say fairly long at short tracks in iRacing, but it happens sometimes. Josh Stoltz was given an EOL penalty for being the cause of the meat of that wreck, if you will. So, Kevin, with those who are not familiar with FTF and the GNS series, what exactly is it? I mean, they might be familiar with the Cup series, that's with the Cup cars, but don't really see FTF in the GNS cars all that often.
Yeah, Kyle Riley and Jake Poulin, they kind of wanted to bring this back. Art Reimer also had his hand in redeveloping this series. About 20 or so races, I think it's 22 races, but the main focus was to give guys a chance to race every single week that this is going on as a companion race to Cup, because, we have a very competitive Cup field. And we wanted to limit a lot of those guys, myself included, yourself included, from running these races, because we wanted to see new faces up front. In most cases, we probably wouldn't see a Tom Wetmore or a Cole Freilich competing for wins. Nathan Rabideau is pretty good. I think he's the ceiling in terms of talent. David Schildhouse also comes to mind, but it's to prevent the same guys from winning every week, the same, the Coke Series drivers, the tryhards, if you will, from dominating week to week and giving these guys a chance to not only race, but to compete for wins every week.
Want to give a shout out to Little Miss NASCAR on Twitch for subscribing. Thank you very much for the sub on Twitch. If you're watching, we appreciate everybody being here. Green flag back out against single file restarts. Nathan Rabideau will lead them into turn number 1. Couple different
Another
lines
yellow.
we see, and they're wrecking already in the back. Tristan Hagenstein again. Leaders are coming in a hurry, so Tristan's got to get that thing going.
What happened all the way back there?
If I'm familiar with iRacing and single file restarts, I'm going to guess there was a humongous checkup somewhere.
Another stack up, and the very tail end, the very, very tail end of this is once again Josh Stoltz. You'll see him coming right there.
Oh, why are they trying to go? Like, they're literally third to last.
So the restart rules with FTF, it's similar to how it was back in the early mid-2000s on back. You run single file, no lap cars on the inside, but you cannot pass at all. Barring, someone has a mechanical failure, that's another issue, but you cannot pass at all on single file restart. So there's no real advantage to, gaming the restart, try to get a run on someone on the outside and sneak a position or two. You are honestly better off staggering and waiting for everyone to go in an orderly fashion. That way you can maybe pass them in turn 1 or, just get going. And these guys are stacking up already on these cautions. And, we saw a little bit of this last year with Cup in terms of, making the change to single file restarts for the intermediate, the shorter intermediates and short tracks. But, tough break for the guys in the back again.
Yeah, like we were saying, iRacing single file restarts and do not work all that often. For those of you that run the 87s, that happens in that series quite a bit. So, on the last caution, number 2 is out here at the New Smyrna Speedway. Again, the over/under was 10. For those of you all betting individuals out there, it is looking good if you posted the over in the chat. But I don't know, Kevin, do you think we can jam 10 cautions into 100 laps? That would be quite a feat.
Well, we got 2, and it looks like we'll probably go green on lap 15. So I'd say the bar is high, but I've seen crazier things, like 34 cautions at Martinsville. So
What a time.
And we are still, I think it's 2 to green this time by, so we'll go back to green on working lap 16. But Nathan Rabs, he's loving every minute of this. Doesn't really have to worry about killing his tires. And I think honestly, with how short this race is, Sean, do you have to worry about maybe taking a set of tires?
I would say maybe one if you want to go to lap 50. Just maybe do it halfway, because tires aren't really going to matter if we're just pacing at 45 miles an hour the whole race. So I don't know. I mean, you could probably go this whole race without pitting if it comes down to it. So if you want to hold the track position, because if you choose to take tires, you got to come all the way through the minefield, as I like to call it, with this. So it's at your own discretion. But we'll see. That's what the fun part is about these type of races. Strategy usually plays out. Green flag back out. We'll try it again. Rabideau gets a good jump. Steven Gibson will fall back into second, already almost side-by-side, and they are side-by-side for third. That's Joe Armstrong underneath Tom Wetmore. Wetmore's going to get the run off the corner as they head down into 3.
Yeah, Armstrong had a really good opportunity to kind of show his nose a little bit in turn 1, but that inside line just not the preferred groove, especially on the entrance of turn 1. We're a little bit higher, about a groove off that yellow line, kind of diamond it back down on the apex, the very late apex of turn 2, and another caution again, and this one is a 2-car incident in 1 and 2.
Oh, they're still wrecking.
A 4-car accident. Josh Stoltz hits Tristan again as a secondary. Lucas Plussel involved.
Man.
Rocky Hartpence involved in the initial. We'll have to see what happened there. They were stacked up in the middle of 1 and 2 up against the fence, and then Tristan Hagenstein for, I think, the third time now.
Third time, yeah.
Has been slingshot, has been just moved and spun in the back. His race has not started off very well.
Get a look here. So going into turn 1, there's the stack up ahead. Didn't really get a good angle of that.
Oh, there's another wreck.
Yes.
What is this?
There were 2 of them.
There were 3 of them. Credit to Zach Johnson for pointing that one out. That was Ethan Corder, our B-main winner. Not that anyone would have seen that.
Nope. We did not broadcast that.
Ryan Pandicio was the one involved there in the 63.
Nonetheless, it is a very unfortunate scenario, again, under the third caution here at New Smyrna. So we'll step aside for just a second, get our wits about us coming back here. So Rabideau, Gibson, Wetmore, Armstrong, and Freilich, your top 5. Don't go anywhere. We will wreck more when we come back. Pace car ducking off. The green flag will come back out at New Smyrna. And Nathan Rabideau again leading them down. Want to give an update for you Josh Stoltz fans out there. He has been parked for the race for being in multiple crashes, being the cause of multiple crashes. So the 99 is done for the night. That might be the quickest park in FTF history. We will have to find that out from a source. But nonetheless, Kevin, they are side by side back here. That's John Hagan in the 64, looking around Spencer Ray in the 6.
John Hagan had a moment in 1 and 2 on the restart, lost a couple positions, got really sideways through the corner. Now he's stuck on that second lane. Spencer Ray looking to capitalize in the 6 car. He's going to have to get back in line. Like I said, really hard to pass here at New Smyrna. I think, if anything, you're going to want to venture on that second or maybe even third lane. Nick Miller looks about a lane and a half higher than Spencer Ray to get a run. Nothing right now. Single file from first, I'd say about 15th.
Josh Stoltz providing an update before he left, said BS, and then he has vacated the facility. So Josh Stoltz's 2024 GNS season not off to the start he was looking for. Back here towards the back of the pack, we have some action going on here, side by side, going into turn number 3. That's Nick Dwornik and Ryan Billy in the 018. And Kevin, we mentioned this, much like in real life, this track, bottom lane doesn't really work all that well. It's all about maintaining in that, about a lane up, I would say, from the bottom. And it's playing out right here as we're watching these battles happen.
Yeah, I mentioned it a couple times already, but, middle, that second lane on entry through the middle, and then you kind of bring it down, and there's a caution, or about to be a caution, huge wreck in turn 2. Multiple cars involved. Isaac Johnson is in it. 85 of Brian Sabelski, Scotty Smith side stuck together. Someone overcorrected immensely right in front of the field. I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I was looking at a battle for position. It was a white and blue car. I'll have to see on the replay who it was. But that was right in front of the field. I think that is Isaac Johnson. Yep, and 33 gets loose right in the middle and just gets crossed up right in front of the field.
Thank God the tent was there to shield the graphic impact there. We'll take another look.
Your discretion advised.
Not a good start to the season for Isaac Johnson either. That car is heavily damaged, spins it right across the field, nowhere for that 81 car to go.
That was Jaden Hopp in the 481. Apologies, we're all still trying to figure out names.
Get it on board here.
I imagine Sabelski's going to get rear-ended here. Sure enough, big hit from Scotty Smith, and they end up wedged together.
All right, well, I did say we were going to keep wrecking when we came back, and by God, the wrecks have just gotten bigger since we've started. So, nonetheless, lap 20... why am I about to say lap 29? It's lap 31 of 100 making up the scheduled distance here for the Barr Visuals FTF Grand National Series for the first time since 2021 back here on FTF GG. It's the prelude to the beach, and this is our version of the roar before the FTF 500, I think. I don't know. I can't think of a good segue for that. But Kevin, that's coming up very soon, and all of us are very excited to have FTF season gearing up once again.
Yeah, it's the busiest time of year for us. I try to keep a low profile on the off season, but as soon as this starts to ramp up, it starts to become a very busy time. I know Justin and Jake have done a lot of work getting everything set up, so big props to them. But yeah, we're doing qualifying and the duels this weekend, and then we got the soup. I honestly, it's probably the most entertaining compilation of races, in my opinion. And just people being desperate, trying to get into that 500K, and then the big show, the 500. So it'll be a lot of fun. We get a lot of drivers from all over the place. We've gotten Cup guys, we've gotten Aussie supercar drivers in there. A lot of people like to run it, so it'll be a lot of fun, and the prestige is high.
And set your calendars. The races are only getting bigger and harder to make, so it's going to be a fun time for sure. And meanwhile, we have a race to mercifully finish at New Smyrna tonight. Green flag back out. Nathan Rabideau has led every lap so far of the prelude to the beach. Off turn number 2, front 2 get away a little bit. Nathan Rabideau, Steven Gibson, and just behind them, Tom Whitmore's got a mirror full of Joe Armstrong.
Armstrong has been trying to pass Wetmore at pretty much every single restart. Tries to get a run on entry, just can't get the pedal down on exit. Loses about a car length or so every single time. Has to get back in line, single file from about first to I'd say about 8th or 9th. Here comes Nick Miller looking low. That'll be for the 8th position. Gonna have to get back in line once again. Just really hard to pass so far, Sean. And I think as this race goes on, we're already at 65 laps to go. The desperation is going to get high for these guys up front trying to make up spots.
And this long run, as it keeps going, the right rear tire is going to get that much more worn as toward the front of the field. They're starting to mix it up. As we make our way into turn number 1, they go past the lapped car. Here's an onboard. I believe this is Mo Perry. He's got
his room.
He did. I mean, compared to the last time we saw it, is significantly cleaner, but he has got the VR headset going there, the Fanatec Road Rim, the gloves. He is focused for this thing as he works his way through turns 1 and 2. As fighting that thing off the corner. I was about to mention, Kevin, it looks to be a little bit loose off of the corners, and Mo is finding that out as here comes David Cabrera looking underneath, and that's for 10th. A little bit of contact, and they keep it straight, so that's one way to fend off a guy trying to pass you.
A little bit of a moment for Cabrera. Once again, Nick Miller looking low on Spencer Ray. Couldn't really do anything for it. More side-by-side action up front. Cole Freilich getting a battle from David Schildhaus, former FTF Cup champion, and at number 20. Trying to get a run somewhere. Runs a little bit higher. Out of turn 2. Going to look low once again. But right now, it looks like Wetmore might be stacking this field up. Joe Armstrong has been trying to pass him multiple times, and it's allowed these guys to stack up a little bit and maybe make a pass or two. Schildhaus sliding it into the corner.
Man,
these guys do not have any grip.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks like there's no grip out there right now. So it's making me think when a caution comes out, tires might be worth it as we see these guys just sliding off the corners. So I don't blame them because they look like they might be going harder than they need to based on the pace this race has gone. But nonetheless, they calm it down a little bit towards the front. Mo Perry and David Cabrera still going at it for 10th back there, side by side into 3. As Mo is still stuck on that outside, but Cabrera just doesn't have the drive off the corner. Off of on that bottom lane is Spencer Ray. A little bit of contact with him and Joe Hagan up ahead of these guys. Cabrera gets loose. A lot of stuff happening at once here in New Smyrna as they work their way through 3 and 4 now.
Yeah, this is the first FTF race with this new dynamic. I wouldn't say surface model like it used to be, but the lane does move around, and with this already being the second lane dominance type of racing it is, I think it's going to move on up, and you're already seeing that Armstrong is moving up a little bit. Schildhaus is starting to move up a little bit in the middle of the corner, and that'll just make the passing even more difficult. You're going to have to go even higher than the guy in front of you, and looking at the times already, Rabideau was our pole sitter. He ran a 17.966 for his pole time. He ran an 18.7, a 6.37 this time by. It's already about 0.7 of a second. So yeah, I'd say tires might be a conversation if we have another caution, especially we're starting to get a little bit of a green flag run here, and Steven Gibson is starting to catch our leader in Rabideau.
Yeah, these guys are roughing each other up all over the racetrack. Gibson's starting to reel in Rabideau, but our focus is on the battle for third as Joe Armstrong just cannot get by Tom Wetmore. And I was going to say, at what point, if you're Wetmore, do you just say, all right, you can have it? He really can't do that because he's literally got the entire field behind him as we're looking on board for the rear of Wetmore. And there you go. Case in point, he has the entire pack on his heels right now. So there's no way he can give this track position up.
Yeah, if you go to the top, you pretty much are going to keep defending the position. But if you go to the bottom, he might go from 3rd to 5th, 6th, 8th, 10th position. These guys are lined up about 1/10 of a second apart, all the way back to about 14th position. So it's just not a feasible idea. Plus, it's a really short race. You got to defend everything you got. Oh, Nick Miller just put Mo Perry into the fence. There's a guardrail on the backstretch. He nearly hit that. They keep going. David. Oh, Cabrera sideways. That might be a self-spin. No caution.
One car.
Oh, another caution. Or another crash. Mo Perry's in the wall. His fender's missing.
It just magically reappeared on the car, so Mo Perry keeps it going. 2 single-car incidents in one lap as we hit the halfway point here at New Smyrna. Nathan Rabideau has led every lap of this race, but as you mentioned, Kevin, Steven Gibson in that 21 Toyota Supra not letting him out of his sights. As who is that? Just really slow going into the pits
Scotty
there.
Smith.
I think that was Isaac Johnson or Scotty Smith, one of them. Yeah, it's Scotty Smith in the 23, so looks like he's going to bring it in. But right now, I'm very impressed with Steven, Kevin. He is Nathan's an FTF veteran, but Gibson not letting him out of his sights.
Yeah, Nathan Rabideau, he's run with us for many years. Last year took a little bit of a time off. That 93 car, at least in Cup, was more of, another caution.
Alexander Van de Sant, it looks like.
Yep. He was running 20th at the time. Not sure what happened.
At the entry to pit road in the 96, we'll bring out caution number 6, I believe this is. So
Riley upset.
What else is new? But yeah, just a little bit of
Oh, watch this.
He backs it up. Wow, that was close. It could have been a lot worse. He was aware of his surroundings there, and he merges back safely. So I would say he did all he could there. Get another look.
Jake Poulin threw that for safety because he started to back up in front of. Oh my gosh, that could have been horrible.
Could have been bad. All right, well, now a decision is among the field.
They have made their decision. A lot of guys are pitting. But
Nathan Rabideau stays out.
Gibson stayed out. Freilich stayed out.
The top 7, including Alexander Van de Sant, stayed out. So the first one on new tires, the one to watch, will be Joe Armstrong in the 73.
He did pass Wetmore on the pits. That's one way to do it.
And it's very tough. You see the tail end of the field coming out of pit road just ahead of the leaders. And it is very tough if you're towards the back to get 4 tires on one stop. You got to make it 2 tires, then come back in and get the other 2. So a couple guys needing to do that for sure, but this is going to be interesting now, Kevin. Strategy is in effect. If I'm Nathan Rabideau, I don't like the fact that I stayed out here.
Yeah, that was, about a 20-lap run, so I'd say he's probably got about 30 performing laps on his tires, and we were looking at times. Last time he ran at speed was about an 18.6, 18.7. These guys will probably be running 18.2s in traffic. So I'd say if Armstrong can bide his time a little bit here, he's obviously going to have a lot of these guys on new tires behind him as well. But I think he's in the catbird seat when it comes to this race now. I think Rabideau made a mistake not pitting. We'll have to find out and see how it cycles out as far as tire wear, tire heat, what matters more. But I think that this race has definitely shaken up right in front of us with that caution.
So it's Nathan Rabideau, Steven Gibson, Cole Freilich, Spencer Ray, Matt Spalding, the first 5 that did not come in to take tires. Then you have Joe Armstrong, Tom Wetmore, David Schildhaus, John Hagan, and Nick Miller that will round out the top 10. And pretty much everybody from Armstrong on back except a couple came in and got fresh tires. So we're going to see how this works. Keep an eye on the 73 red and white car back there. Green flag is out. And here we go, Kevin. We'll see. And look at Joe Armstrong not wasting any time going into turn number 1, diving underneath Matt Spalding.
1 down, about 4 to go. Wetmore trying to make it 3 wide, trying to get that spot back from Armstrong that he lost. Oh, he's going to save it. What a save from Armstrong. A little bit of contact out of turn 4. A huge stack up into turn 1, and that's not going to work for these guys. Oh, who is that? Oh, Reimer just clobbered Spalding.
Oh, and he collects the 05 of Scott Rickard. Isaac Johnson involved in another crash, and that'll bring out another
They're
caution.
still wrecking back here.
They got
Art Reimer wrecked again.
Poor Art Reimer's got a new paint scheme for the tail end of 2023 into 2024 in all series he runs. And a lot of scratches on the iconic number 49. Let's take another look at what happened. And you saw, Kevin, it all started when everyone was trying to get what they could. Armstrong going into turn number 1. It looked like the 54 just didn't really turn for the corner. It just made contact with Armstrong, and that's what set this whole thing off.
Yeah, it's hard to... The way the orientation of this front stretch is very bizarre. Like, the wall kind of, like, comes back in. So it's kind of hard to see who's going up, who's going down. But, yeah, he kind of just goes straight. Knocks himself out right in front of the field. Oh, poor Art Reimer just had nowhere to go. He did everything he could to get out of there as fast as he could. Just couldn't get around it in time. But it all started in 3 and 4. See the contact right here. Armstrong makes a fantastic save to prevent it from going into the wall. Spalding, the meat of the sandwich, hits Schildhouse as well. Gets bodied again. And that's all she wrote for Spalding. Huge impact.
Right in front of the Skip Southern Boot billboard right there. Call 1-888-BOOT. If you're in the New Smyrna area for all your footwear needs.
It's about 10 minutes south near Osteen, Florida. I think it's still there.
It's nothing. It doesn't have anything on the iconic Dale shoes in Daytona Beach.
Which is also not there anymore.
It will be missed.
Something else. I forget what it is now.
It is. I don't know what it is, actually. It is something.
Yeah.
We were up there days ago.
It's like you know who would know? Jordan Worth.
I mean, Jordan Worth, he lives there. He is Daytona at this point.
Yep. He's broken more infrastructure and advertising news than some of the best.
We're not. Zach says get him on the horn. We're not getting him on the horn for that.
Mentioned Costco before Adam Stern. Mentioned Hard Rock Betting sponsoring the Fan Zone before Bob Pockrass. Really on the cutting edge of news.
Speaking of Jordan, the FTF 500 duels are on bottom split this year. So be ready for that. It should be a fun time. I'm going to be in the races as well as commentating at some point, I think. Kevin's probably going to be doing the same thing at some point if you're not officiating the race.
Yeah.
So those are always a fun time. You know, the races get more prestigious every year, I think. And they never disappoint. A lot of hearts are going to be broken, and a lot of stories will be made in the duels. So looking forward to that. Always a good time of year here. Green flag is back out, and Nathan Rabideau on the old tires is going. The first car on new tires here is Tom Wetmore in that 8 car. So pay close attention to him as he's looking to get a run off the corner on Spencer Ray. He's going to look to the inside into turn 3, and Ray's going to be early on the brakes. Wetmore gets loose. Contact is made. And here comes the 64 of John Hagan. He's also on fresh tires.
Yeah, Hagan's had a rough go of it this first 35, 40 laps or so, but the last 20 started to kind of get his act together, and these new tires will certainly help with his position. Was running around 7th to 9th before the caution. Battle for the lead. Here comes Gibson. He looked low momentarily on that 93 machine of Rabideau. Rabideau's got to be a little bit worried, not only about Gibson, but here come these new tires. Wetmore all over the rear end of Cole Freilich going into 3, looking on the high line.
I think that's what you want to do, especially if you're Tom Wetmore. And another caution.
They're out of 4.
Spencer Ray is around.
He got spun around, yeah.
1 car. Caution is out. Kyle Riley quick to throw that one. And I think we are under, this is caution number 7 or 8, I think. I've lost count. So we're getting close to the over-under, though. So it's almost there. So we're going to get a couple of replays here. First one's going to be David Cabrera on the restart here in the 31. Let's see what happened to him. Off the corner, into 1, diving underneath. Slides up. A little bit of contact, and Cabrera goes around.
Such a small amount of contact behind that infamous tent.
Yep, so that tent isn't even there. Like, I don't know why it's in the game.
You don't even go here.
But here's the crash. That's Nick Miller in the 19. Just gets a little too close.
Just the slightest of contact. That's crazy. It's almost like a Gen 4 wreck.
It just bumps him. So I don't know if it's the new damage model or what, but we've seen some very very minimal contact wrecks in this race.
I kind of like that, though.
Do you?
You can't knock people around. You can't just run them over and have no repercussions.
Nick Miller getting an EOL penalty. There he is serving it, so he will go to the tail end of the field for being the cause of the caution.
Another driver, I'd say he has the speed. You just got to have the full-on racecraft.
Okay. I'd say Steven Wilson just blinked out for almost the whole backstretch, but he's back. That would have been a heartbreaker. In second.
Steven Gibson.
What did I say?
Steven Wilson.
Did I say Steven Wilson?
There's a Stefan Wilson.
Well, there was also a Steven Wilson. He won the Coke Series championship this year, but nonetheless, Steven Gibson, my apologies. It's early in the year. By the way, no Jacob Hitz here tonight. He just didn't want to do this. So thank you, Jacob, for
Can't believe you didn't want
to
watch 100 laps of high-octane GNS action.
I was going to ask him about how Reese Hoskins is doing, but now I got to wait until next time I talk to him to say that. So, oh well.
If you're curious what GNS stands for, it is Grand National Series, but the acronym Goofy NASCAR Series has started to circulate, and you know what? That might fit.
Wonder who started that.
I don't know. I heard it a couple times.
Okay. On the one to go right now, Nathan Rabideau trying to do the impossible in an FTF race, lead every lap and win.
You know who else has done that?
I don't know.
Me.
Okay, cool. Pace car is off. Here we go. Nathan on it. Gibson gets a little bit loose off of turn 4, and that's going to stack the field up. Here comes Cole Freilich diving to the inside. Wetmore side by side with Hagan. Here comes Schildhaus, and the fresh tires are battling for position into turn 3.
New four-tire battle for 4th. Here comes Hagan on that high line. Freilich gets loose. Wetmore looking to go 3 wide into turn 1, thinks better of it. Here comes Schildhaus using that second lane to his advantage, and I think at this point Wetmore might be boxed in behind Freilich. He's now lost 2 positions, and we have another accident, and these are going to bode well. Huge crash! Oh my God!
Oh my goodness! The backstretch is a literal parking lot, as they say. I don't know who they are.
Again involved. Candicio. Isaac Johnson stuck back there.
Ryan Rocky had a front row seat to that. He was not involved. There he is in the 0-2 right there.
Spalding is not happy about something. I imagine he was part of that. Yeah, his car is destroyed.
The iconic Puffer Zone Racing network machine is not looking so hot. Did this start with Art Reimer? No, it didn't. We got to go back. There's Spalding. No, it's Scotty Smith.
We'll get a. Oh my gosh! It already started.
It's already
David
happened.
Cabrera was in there. 7 car.
See if we can
Jeremy
find
Briault.
the genesis of this wreck. So that's Malachi Drake. He gets turned, and then it's just on from there.
Oh my
God! Art Reimer.
David Cabrera ran over somebody. Trying to slow down for that.
Yes, the blimp view.
There's a lot of components to this accident.
There's a lot of layers to it.
Oh my God.
God, Rocky Hartpence just hit the worst possible part of the inside wall right there. On board, who are we on board with here?
This is Cabrera.
This is David Cabrera. Into the corner. Accident happens.
Oh, it just didn't stop at all.
Art Reimer, more parts of that car are on the racetrack than he would like.
At one point, do we see a crowbar in the infield?
Oh, come on. Yeah, that's why Matt Spalding wasn't happy at all. He just pulled down right in front of him after letting a bunch of people go. Nonetheless, I'm going to say this is caution, number 9? If I'm losing count? We have to be up there. Have to be up there.
ATVO? I guess not.
Don't think so. Multi-billion-dollar company ATVO just can't afford to put cautions in their software. Thank you, Zach. I'm just now getting to looking at the chat, guys, so my apologies for just now being here. Sean, thoughts on the Polanco trade? What are you talking about? I don't know what happened.
Breaking news, question mark.
Are we talking about the Mets making a trade? This is the 8th caution we're being told from producer Zach Johnson. So do with that information what you will.
We're into 20 laps to go. Can Nathan Rabideau lead the entire race? Go wire to wire on old tires. Steven Gibson has been giving him fits every single restart, but in third, John Hagan on new tires. Everyone behind him on new tires. Green flag is out. 20 laps to go here at New Smyrna. Grabs gets another fantastic restart. Here comes Hagan, gets a really good run off of turn 2. So does Gibson. Gibson might be looking low here. Here he comes.
Tries it. Here come the fresh tires, though. Hagan to the outside. David Schildhaus. Joseph Armstrong muscling Tom Wetmore out of the way off turn 4. They're still side by side. And here comes Gibson to the outside for the lead. Just can't quite get the traction. Hagan all over his rear bumper down the backstretch.
Wetmore and Armstrong got stuck side by side. They're still attached to each other. 79 is saving it. That's Schmidt. What a save. Still side by side for 5th. Here comes the number 64 of Hagan. Looking low on Gibson. That'll be for 2nd.
And this is where the first domino falls here at the front of the field. David Schildhaus right there again. He's on fresh tires as well, looking to follow Hagan through. Does Nathan Rabideau have enough grip on board with Schildhaus? Side by side into turn 1 for 2nd. Gibson grazes the wall. Hagan's got to check up. They're still side by side. Hagan's going to get the run off the corner. He's going to be into 2nd. Schildhaus looking to follow him through. He goes straight into turn 3. Muscles Gibson up the track. Hagan's clear for 2nd. And now the fresh tires have a chance to get to the front.
What a bunch of stories we have here. Can Nathan Rabideau go wire to wire? Can Hagan win in his first FTF start? Can Schildhaus win his first FTF race in over 2 years since he's ran a race in FTF? Side by side, here he comes.
In the turn 1, they got the lap car. Matt Spalding to deal with. He's not getting out of the way.
He's going to stop. Wow.
What the heck was that? Matt Spalding just set a pick for John Hagan, and it works to perfection. What did we just see?
Rabideau has got to be so upset.
Wow.
Oh, you hate to see a race decided by a lap car.
Matt Spalding. I can't believe that. Well, new leader, John Hagan, in the 64. Unlikely. Again, this race is not over yet, but I think the ship has sailed for Nathan Rabideau. Just the tires are too much to overcome. And here comes David Schildhaus trying to get around Rabideau as John Hagan pulling away from the field.
There's a crazy backstory regarding Matt Spalding. Spalding has a meatball. Jake Poulin, race control. We do clear it if they are at speed. He has not been at speed, and he might have to retire at this point. We'll have to find out. Rabideau has to be sick about that result. Still fighting for 2nd. Schildhaus looking all over the place, trying to get around him. Armstrong looking to rebound as well. He's looking for 3rd. But John Hagan and that Baja Blast number 64 Camaro has set sail over a 2nd lead at this point from the field. What a debut if he ends up winning this race.
Wow, and David Schildhaus and Nathan Rabideau coming to blows off of turn 4. So Schildhaus on the fresher tires is going to clear Rabideau for 2nd. Here comes Joe Armstrong looking to follow him through for 3rd, and Rabideau is feeling the effect on those old tires, just hanging on for dear life on the top lane.
A little bit of a comparison on speeds. John Hagan ran an 18.466 that last time by. Rabideau in traffic, but on older tires, an 18.917, about a half second off. Armstrong going to get a little bit tight off of turn 4. Nearly pinches Rabideau into that outside concrete barrier. Gabe Wood, he's had a really good race. He started 17th. He's now up in the top 5.
Gabe Wood, a core legend, as look at Joe Armstrong, locks the left rear tire going into turn 3 as he nearly wrecks Nathan Rabideau, currently on board with Gabe in the iconic 04 as he's looking around the outside of Rabideau. Rabideau gets loose on the bottom. Gabe has to check up. Armstrong has to check up. They fall in line. Wetmore will dive to the inside. And now the field works their way around the slow traffic of Mo Perry in the 54.
No Perry. Gonna have to figure out where he's gonna go. He's gonna go all the way up to the third groove. Here comes Gabe Wood. He's gonna face the similar issue. Wetmore and Armstrong stuck together again out of turn 2. These guys have been inseparable since this last since that caution with the new tires. But caution in the back. Schmitz around out of turn 4.
Well, Mikolajczyk was involved in it there. They somehow kept it straight, but Kyle Riley throws the caution flag, and that is not what John Hagan wanted to see. He was driving away from the field on those fresher tires. That's going to give David Schildhaus one last shot at this thing. Let's see if we can get a good replay. Watch the yellow and black car going into turn 3 here. William Schmidt. Oh, what was that?
Did he get hit from behind? Who is that?
That was Paul Mikolajczyk.
Yeah, gets hit from somebody.
Who was behind him? Was that
Bobby Blazer?
Bobby Blazer.
In the 900 shows the 90 in the sim, but just gets sent from 3 or 4 car lengths back. Oh my God! I've never seen anything like that.
How they didn't wad all those cars up, I have no clue. This is on board with Mo Perry. He hits the wall. Gabe barely gets through. He's still in the wall. And we're going to see, there goes Mikolajczyk into 3, turns the 79.
Oh, good wreck avoidance.
It was good wreck avoidance. I mean, that could have been a lot worse. All right, well 3 to go. Well, we're going to get a green-white checkered, I believe.
And there's 3 of them, if we need them.
Yes, we will need them, I think.
And then the very infamous point of no return comes into play. Hopefully that doesn't happen. There's been many of controversial finishes when we do point of no return at short tracks. Mm-hmm. So I would like to avoid that.
Nonetheless, it's been a slugfest here at New Smyrna Speedway. We hope you guys are liking what you're seeing. Again, this is the first race of a few for the GNS Series this season. They'll be going alongside the main, I guess, FTF Cup Series schedule, if you will. I'm trying to find the GNS schedule because I am very curious as to where the next race is.
2024 schedules. Even I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I'm just trying to bide time, acting like I know where this stuff is.
So GNS next race is at Daytona, which makes sense. February 5th, Monday night, 8 p.m.
Oh my God, the next race after Daytona.
An off week, the 12th. And then you would never be able to guess this even if you tried. We're going to Bathurst for a 2-hour endurance race the 19th of February.
Hell yeah.
Gets a little bit more normal after that. Atlanta, Vegas Auto Club, back-to-back weeks. And then Twin Ring Motegi, Kern Raceway, Spa, South Boston, and Milwaukee.
What the heck, man? That's a heck of a lineup. And then there's month of May Madness is Talladega, Long Beach, Homestead, Darlington, and Hickory.
What a fitting name for that.
That is something. But we're still in New Smyrna. The season is just now underway. We have a race to settle. John Hagan will take us to the green flag. Green-white checkered attempt number 1. The field needs to make it back to the line for the race to be official, as he will make his way off of turn number 2. David Schildhaus is clear. Rabideau has a mirror full of Gabe Wood. He dives into 3, gives him a bump. Not much doing there. Field off of turn 4. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go at New Smyrna.
Does Schildhaus have anything? Oh. Gabe Wood hard into the outside wall. Top 5 run gone for Wood. Here comes John Hagan down the backstretch for the final time, and he might have it.
John Hagan in his first FTF start comes off at turn 4, and he will win the prelude to the beach at New Smyrna and kick off the 2024 FTF GNS season in style. As Gabe Wood, the dream is dead for Gabe Wood. He will limp the 04 back to the start-finish line, but John Hagan, what a run. Pits at the right time, gets the fresh set of tires, makes his way through the madness, and in race number 1 of his FTF career, he is a Barr Visuals FTF Grand National Series winner, as he will do burnouts on the front stretch here at New Smyrna. So the race was everything that we expected, Kevin, and then some. A lot of wrecks, a lot of great battles. But overall, I'd say it was a fun race to watch.
Yeah, well, a little bit of a green flag run. I think we expected the cautions, but they cleaned it up a little bit, and that honestly set up the finish. About a 30-lap run, 25-lap run. I'd have to look and see what the official tally was. We'll look at
Gabe.
this. I think this is just I think Gabe honestly might have pinched himself into the wall.
Man,
yeah, it's hard to see with that angle. Wetmore, I don't know if he had anywhere really to go, but that's a really unfortunate set of circumstances for Wood. Was running fourth at the time. Yeah, it honestly just looks like that straightaway is so bizarre. It kind of just moves inward a little bit into the corner. Kind of hard to judge it if you have someone on your outside, but a really tough break for Gabe. He was running all the way up to the top 5, starting 17th. But once again, what an absolute effort from John Hagan. He struggled, honestly, the first 25 laps. Got sideways, had everyone trying to pass him, but ends up coming away with the victory. David Schildhouse in his FTF return finishes in second. Nathan Rabideau, he's got to be kicking himself with not checking those 4 tires. He will finish in third. Tom Wetmore survives to finish in fourth. Joe Armstrong doing the same thing to get a top 5 finish. Andrew Schwartz in his return comes from 18th to finish in 6th. Steven Gibson was running up towards the front. Fell victim to those tires as well. Comes home 7th. Nick Dwarnick in 8th. Spencer Ray survives after being spun in 9th. And I don't know who finished 10th because Zach took the screen away from me. Cole Freilich finished in 10th.
That's okay. Yeah, it was Cole Freilich. Scott Rickard will finish 11th. William Schmidt in 12th. Ryan Billy 13th. Alexander Van de Sant will finish 14th. Nick Miller 15th. Tristan Hagenstein, after being wrecked 3 times in the first 17 laps, will finish 16th. Ryan Naraki 17th. Cody Ware 18th. Malachi Drake 19th. And Kevin Bobby Blazer will round out the top 20.
Heartbreak for Gabe Wood. He will finish as the last car on the lead lap in 21st. Lucas Plussel in 22nd. Paul Mikolajczyk 23rd. Rocky Hartpence 24th. Matt Spalding, I don't know how he was still on track at the end of the race. He finished in 25th. Scotty Smith 26th. Mo Perry, Isaac Johnson, Ryan Pandicio, and David Cabrera will round out your top 30, and rounding out the rest of the field. A lot of heartache back here. Art Reimer, multiple accidents. He will finish in 31st. Jeremy Briault will finish in 32nd. Jaden Hopp, 33rd. Brian Sabelski, 34th. Josh Stoltz, 35th. And Ethan Corder, our winner of the B main, but the last car in the field, will finish in 36th. And we're going to have to kind of take a step back for a second to get everyone to come in here. We got some newcomers who have never done this before. We got winner interviews coming up. Top 3 coming in.
Well, in the meantime, we'll chat with our race winner. John Hagan has made his way from victory lane into the booth. So, John, you're a 1-for-1 in FTF competition. How does it feel to have the greatest winning percentage in FTF history so far?
It feels amazing. I didn't think that was in my cards for tonight, to be honest. I was looking for something new to run because everything else I've been running closed up. Somebody mentioned FTF, and I was like, whatever. We'll do the Xfinity Series because this is my worst car by far. I have done maybe 10 official races in this car before this. I figured I'd learn, and apparently I'm a fast learner or something. But all the cards fell our way. Now I feel amazing. I feel wonderful.
Yeah, but I'd say could have fooled us with this being your worst car. You did a good job making your way up through the front. Made the right call to pit, I think, under that caution around halfway. So we were kind of noticing on that, I guess, long run, so to speak. It was like 20 laps, but it still counted that the rears were starting to slip a lot off the corner. So is that your indication to come down and get some tires and be good for the end of this thing?
I knew that if I stayed out, that everybody behind was pretty much going to come down. I mean, we'd run 50 laps. Granted, a bunch of them were under caution, but I had no rear drive because I was still learning how to race everybody in traffic midway through the race. So I came down, got 4, and I was like, whatever, we'll try to learn. And I just started making big moves, bold moves, passing cars on the outside, getting in there, and it worked out.
Say it worked out pretty darn well for you. So you're an FTF winner here at New Smyrna in the Barr Visuals FTF Grand National Series. So next week, February 5th, we get to take a little drive down the road to the Daytona International Speedway. It's one of those well-known tracks, I guess. A couple of us may have heard of it. So what would be your strategy going into that race to get yourself 2 wins in a row?
We're either going to put ourselves in the front and hold it at the front, hope for long green runs because pit strategy is always fun there. We're going to stay alive in the back because if you're in the middle, it's just a death trap and you can't even really move forward. So I'm going to put it where my cards place me, and hopefully we get some long runs and we were able to separate and they come down to a group of guys because that's when I think it's the most fun.
There you go. So there you have it, guys. First-time racer in FTF, first-time winner, John Hagan, in victory lane in New Smyrna. John, congratulations, man. Go enjoy it.
Thank you.
Well, that's first place finisher Jonathan Hagan, and now we're going to bring back a familiar face here, P2 with David Schildhouse with Kevin.
David Schildhouse, what a return for the children to see over at the Twitch channel. Take us through that. Take us through that race. You were about a 5th to 10th place car before that caution, but I imagine, just like a lot of these guys, the decision to take tires really made the difference for you.
Yeah, Kevin, it did. I was worried it wasn't going to because it didn't look like we were going to get enough green flag laps for tires to matter. But we did. We got that green flag run, and I just followed John around the outside. The new tires rolled really good there in that second lane, and we were able to get up there in the top 5, and it's so hard to pass. These cars were on edge. Tough to get the power down and make any traction to stay underneath somebody without getting loose or wrecking them. It was I don't know. It was a gym fight out there. Really, it felt like just throwing haymakers to try and make stuff. I would look up in my rearview mirror and I would see some just outrageous things happening behind me. I was glad that they were behind me, but to finish second tonight feels really good. Back in FTF after a long hiatus and back in the GNS series, new paint scheme on the car tonight, and to come out of here with the P2, man, I'm pretty happy with that. I feel like I earned it.
I'd say so. Started 5th, made your way up to second. I'd say a job well done. But yeah, talk to us a little bit about the balance of the cars. We definitely saw a lot of swatting of the flies per se from up here in the booth. Did it just progressively get looser over time? And obviously the lack of passing seemed that you guys were more fighting the car than even trying to pass each other.
Yeah, this was definitely racing the car more than the other people. It was unbalanced. That's the problem. There was no balance. It was a lack of balance. It was imbalanced. It was difficult on entry. Each end of the racetrack's a little bit different. This is my first time racing in New Smyrna. I just want to put that out there. I've never raced at this racetrack before, so this was my first time seeing it. And I went to school tonight. I got an education on how this racetrack works, but it would burn the right rear off. It's real easy to spin up the right rear trying to get the power down if you're taking a real shallow entry as well. So there was a very specific line that you could run to try and help mitigate that. But yeah, it would burn the right rear, so everybody was loose, and it would translate to entry. If you overdrove it a little bit, you'd be chasing it as well. It felt real unsettled. So trying to set up a pass was difficult because you didn't know if you're going to have grip throwing it off in underneath somebody, and we saw plenty of instances where somebody's enthusiasm exceeded their grip. So it was tough. It was a very challenging race, but this is what I like. I mean, this is what I want to see. I want challenge. I want hard. I don't want what we all sit and complain about in Discords and Twitters and everything else when we play iRacing. I want a challenge. That's fun to me, even if I'm struggling at it. At least it's something different. So hats off to everybody at the admin squad for putting on something that was different. I kind of like this racetrack. I would like to see it maybe in something a little different, but an Xfinity car around here was a damn good time. And I learned something tonight. As long as I've been playing this game, Kevin, you and I both know it's not often that you learn something at our advanced age and experience. So it was cool to learn something.
Yeah, once you're getting closer and closer to that 55 plus league that we all want to join. But speaking of different,
as long as Andy Margo's around, I'll never be the oldest driver in FTF.
Absolutely, he's the fan favorite for a reason. But speaking of different, a place that you have been before, we're going about 10-15 minutes up the road next week. We're going to Daytona. You're very familiar with that facility, especially in this car, I imagine. What's the strategy going into that? The racing is always pretty chaotic in this Xfinity car when it comes to the high banks of Daytona. What's your plan going forward next week?
Aggressive. Just be aggressive. We know how these races get. They become gridlock. You can't go anywhere. The lanes all sort of even out, or it's difficult to make passes, especially as you get later into the race. So you've got to have track position. the best way to do that is just be aggressive. Make sure you get a good qualifying lap in, start up front, and stay up front. Don't let yourself fall too far back as much as reasonably possible. And the winner probably comes from somewhere inside the top 10 on the last lap, and that's really where I think you got to be to have a shot at winning that race. I love super speedway racing. The Xfinity car is wrong. That's not how it races.
Fix the game.
I've been yelling at Andrew Schwartz because now I'm on his team. I've yelled at him all night to fix the game. We have a lot of people in this league that can fix the game, but it doesn't draft right. It's not realistic, but it is what we have to race, and so you have to take that approach that everyone else has the same problem on their hands. So you got to hold on to track position. Can't make any mistakes on pit road, and got to have some friends, some help at the end of it. So hopefully I got Andrew Schwartz and Tristan Hagenstein, my teammates at Great Lakes Motorsports this year, and the three of us can be up there at the front fighting it out for a win.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens next week at Daytona. But tonight, David, you finished in second here at New Smyrna. And the first time you've been here, congratulations.
Thanks, Kevin. A big shout out to Splash and Go Graphics for the beautiful new black, purple, and gold paint scheme. What do you guys think of that? I have not raced these colors before.
Spooky. I like it.
Spooky. Yeah, so shout out to Cosman for that. Always does a great job. Big thank you to Advanced GG, Next Level Racing, and everybody at twitch.tv/Shieldhouse. The children were enjoying the show tonight. We put it on in P2. We're going to do one better next week, Kevin. We'll see you at Daytona.
Go get them.
It's David Shieldhouse, P2 here tonight. And last but certainly not least, we're going to catch up with our pole sitter, Nathan Rabideau. Nathan, again, we were speaking with David, speaking with our race winner, of course, John Hagen, and want to just get your thoughts here, man. Those two took tires later on in the run. You elected not to take tires, and ultimately we're feeling the ill-handling rear end of that race car. Just talk us through how much different that was on older tires compared to the newer ones.
Yeah, it was. I was hanging on to that car. I don't know how I hung on to it for a podium spot. I'm surprised. Like, after them taking tires, I knew that after staying out, I was like, I got to go all in for this, because I was thinking there were going to be a lot of cautions that were going to come out in. Now, there were some, but I wasn't expecting like maybe a solid green flag run going on there, considering like the people on newer tires, battling with one another there. But I'm just happy to be out there up front. Got the pole, was leading most laps. It's a good way to debut the new car here. This is another banger by Cosman here, and he said that this is probably his best scheme that he has made for me. There's a lot of people I got to thank. My Nexus guys, people on the car, Neon, Synthwave, Sherry Very, that's my friend Angel. She makes cool art on the deck lid there. So yeah, and also debuting the Rap Centro personal brand I came up with. It's going to be on this car, this paint scheme, and then the Cup car for coming up for this season. But the main goal for me is just, I'm all in for GNS, see what I can do to win all this. I know I finished runner-up last time back in 2021, and I want to go all in this time. So we got great competition here with these guys, and just hope to keep doing it well. The tires really, mattered in this time. I was really banging on just staying out and just making sure that I was able to hold on to it. But I drove a really good defensive race there. There wasn't much else I could have done.
Well, nonetheless, nothing to hang your hat on. It was still a very strong performance from you. It just gets away in those strategies sometimes. I know plenty of times in my iRacing career, I've had no faith in the lobby, and much like you did, to keep the thing keep the thing green for a while, and of course they go green for a while, and you say they're going to keep wrecking, and you stay out, and they end up not wrecking. So totally understand where you're coming from. I don't blame you at all for the decision there. But overall, like I said, very good race from you. Overall, good points day, good start to the season. Could have been a lot worse, of course, with all that. But overall, it's very tough to top your paint schemes, I might add. They just keep getting better and better every year. You and Cosmo really do a good job collabing on those paint schemes. So we keep asking everybody what the plan is for Daytona. So we obviously don't want you wrecking that beautiful number 93 car. So everybody said pretty much survive at Daytona. So is that pretty much your thoughts getting into there as well?
Yeah, just basically surviving and GNS Cup, going to it. We'll see what we can do for Cup. I know that last year I didn't really run as much Cup as I did before, but I was able to get other drivers to get decent on the owner's points. So we'll see what happens for when we get to Cup. But the focus for me personally is just to run the whole GNS schedule and see what I can do about it. Same. It's probably going to be the same deal for Cup this year as I did last year, with revolving number of drivers getting in there. I'm just looking for, I can see is the best of the best want to drive this beauty and get it a win. Last year we almost did it with Graham. I know we can do it this year.
Absolutely, for sure. One last question before we let you go. So you mentioned the Cup Series as well. So are you officially trying to pull double duty for the whole year for this one? Are you going to try to run every race in Cup as well, or just all the races in GNS only?
It basically be running all of GNS. So for the Cup, it's going to be like the same deal I did last year. I did the FTF 500, and I did a couple races here and there just to fill in the gaps if no one else was available. So that will probably be the same scheduling I'm probably going to do for this year. Because I know, like, for weekends and stuff, I like to keep that open. I'm glad that this is scheduled on the GNS is scheduled on a Monday, and gives me time to focus on that. But yeah, I like to keep the weekends open, and maybe just want to, either from my team, or there's anybody who's like really good, just get into this car and drive it. So yeah, that's basically what I got going on.
Well, Nathan, like I said, you kicked off 2024 GNS with a good start. Nothing to hang your hat on. Good podium finish there. Overall, great job tonight, man, and we'll see you next week at Daytona. Congratulations.
Yep, thank you very much. Hope to keep with this momentum going.
That's Nathan Rabbit, everybody. P3 here tonight at New Smyrna, Kevin. And like I said, he is a competitor. Sounds kind of, down a little bit after that race, but you can't really blame him. The fact that he dominated the whole time and just came up a little bit short on the strategy. But again, that's just racing. Happens to everybody, and it stinks. But that's just racing sometimes.
That's why they race him. That's why they race the race. He did everything he could have in terms of speed. Probably the fastest guy on track up until that caution where he stayed out. Did everything, ran clean, started on the pole. Just one of them deals, just one of them things. But it sets the tone for sure in terms of the rest of the GNS field. I'd say the guys that we saw in the top 5, top 7 are going to be who we're going to see compete for the championship for the GNS season. So nothing to hang his hat off of, in terms of performance. He's going to have a win or two, I'd say, this year at some point. So I think good momentum, and honestly, good momentum for a lot of these guys. Pretty clean race by our standards at the short tracks for FTF. So it can only get better. We're going to Daytona next week, and that'll be a calamity of itself. But I think honestly, this could have gone a lot worse, and I think it's a good way to start the year so far for these guys.
And speaking of Daytona, FTF is going to be all around the Daytona International Speedway this coming weekend here, starting on February 2nd. So we got a couple events going on in FTF competition. Barr Visuals Pole Day number 1 starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Time right here on FTF. 4 hours of single car qualifying at Daytona. It doesn't get much better than that. And I know we had a lot of fun with that last year. Looking to kick that off again this year. And at 10:30 p.m. February 2nd, the Bra Clash at Daytona. Always a really big, dumb, stupid race too, but that is always very entertaining for that. So good round of racing coming on the 2nd. And February 3rd, a lot of action happening then. Barr Visuals Pole Day number 2, 4 more hours of single car qualifying at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the Barr Visual Duels 1 and 2, February 3rd, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Are they on FTF or Bottom Split? I wasn't aware of what is going to be which, but nonetheless, you'll be able to watch them.
I believe they will be on Bottom Split, but we'll have a full announcement. Unfortunately, our head producer and Zach Johnson decided to take his talents and actually have a career out of it. So we're using his absence as a way to kind of branch back out and maybe get Jordan to do some broadcasting. Justin's in the booth.
I know I know someone who we can ask. That's why I brought him in there real quick. Justin.
Hi.
Is the Clash on FTF or Bottom Split?
I don't know.
All right, well that's Justin Malillo. So thanks for the information from him.
We'll know when he knows, and when he knows, you'll know.
There we go. All right, well that's what's to come this weekend. And Justin, why are you back in here? I kicked you out.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. I was doing work tonight over at the World of Outlaws stuff, so I don't know what's going on.
It's okay. So you missed a great GNS race. We'll tell you about it later on, but
I'll watch the replay.
You will right here on FTFGG. You'll watch the VOD.
Absolutely, it's what I do every morning.
Oh hell yeah, man! So what else do we have to look forward to on FTF before we wrap up here, so Zach can get some shut eye?
Well, what I haven't been listening right now, so I don't know what you've got.
Unbelievable! I went over Pole Day, went over the Brook Clash and the duels, and we also went over GNS.
You covered everything. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, we got more stuff coming around after that the following weekend.
You got the soup, you got the D main, the C main, and the tiny text on the 8th. That's on Friday. You got the tiny text 500K. Winner has the option of making it into the day FTF 500.
You know, the last two times they haven't actually, the winner hasn't taken it. It's I think it went down to like 6th place last year or something like that before somebody actually took the option to go race that. So
yes,
do you remember that? That was actually very interesting.
GNS is also that week on the 5th, right after the duels. 2 days later, a lot of stuff happening. Be nice if we had our head producer.
It's okay. We'll be fine. But nonetheless, that'll wrap up our coverage here for round number 1 of the Barr Visuals FTF Grand National Series for the first time since 2021. The prelude to the beach is a wrap. Congratulations to our winner here tonight. And we will be back next weekend. And we'll be back eventually. But John Hagan, your winner tonight. Thanks for joining us, everybody. For myself, Sean Butler, Kevin, Zach, we look forward to seeing y'all next week for a lot of stuff happening on FTF. Till then, everybody, have a good night. We'll see you next week.
Daytona.
Yep.